All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go racing from Donnington Park. Up front will be Giancarlo and Harry Volsmere. Mike Marshall and Cody Kennedy on the second row. Nicole Creasel and Graham Bardsley rounding out the field here this morning. Keep an eye on that Lambo at the back, driven by Graham. Look for that one to come through the field quickly. Couple of drivers still getting race fuel into the car. They were on qualifying fuel loads up until a moment ago. Kellen out here cheering on Graham Bardsley. Harley out here cheering on Nicole. That's what she said, Creasel. And with this smaller field, that's going to be huge for those two drivers. Pace car is rolling, getting a quick run at this one. One more turn to go. The Porsche pace car will hit pit road. Good morning, Harley. Good morning, Kellen. Great to see you guys as always. Just a shame that these guys aren't in a Pro 4 at Wild West. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. They're down and away at Donnington. Giancarlo quickly breaking away. Harry battling it out with Mike Marshall. Cody Kennedy back and forth trying to get through traffic. Graham Bardsley did not get a great start, but is closing back in on the field ahead. Going great here, Kellen. Keep a close eye on Graham. His lap times were the fastest in practice. We'll see if he can fight his way up. The downfall is Graham does not have a mic, so if he gets a top 3 finish, we won't get to interview him. Giancarlo, after driving the Audi at the Sebring endurance event, said he was giving something different a try. First 3 weeks of this season in the Lambo, the last few seasons in the Lambo. We'll see if it, as Harry got a little bit loose coming out of the turn. Giancarlo did say that the Lambo did have a bit of a push here, which could be fatal as Graham Bardsley comes by Cody Kennedy. And it looked like there might have been a little contact. Drag racing down toward the turn, and nope, oh, look at that. Cody goes for a crossover. No contact. Cody just breaks the back end loose a hair. Graham now up into 4th. Giancarlo in the lead by 1.5 seconds over Harry. Harry came into this week 14th in points after missing Red Bull Ring last week, looking to make up some ground. Mike Marshall in the Conlift Solutions Porsche currently runs in 3rd. Cody Kennedy still trying to pull back up onto the back bumper of Graham Bardsley. Nicole Creasel had some problems early in lap 1. Now a lot of ground to make up. Did hear some of the drivers say, as we mentioned earlier, the Ferrari could dominate here. This is a very good Ferrari track. And with only 6 cars in the field due to the holiday, the entire field will invert for race 2. Giancarlo just set the fastest lap of the race so far. And a little bit of a blink out of Giancarlo. Mike Marshall now in third. Graham Bardsley in fourth. Cody Kennedy in fifth. Graham is gaining ground on Mike Marshall and gaining some ground on Harry Volsmir. Meanwhile, Giancarlo at the front, pulling away now, has a 2-second lead. Did hear Nicole say she did not get her usual practice in this week, but doesn't seem to be having a huge effect. She is still picking up speed every lap. You see her clip the dirt here. One of the big problems is the tight corner exits at this track could be fatal if you get the grass. Graham Bardsley closing in quickly on Mike Marshall. Doesn't seem that the Lambo push is bothering the two Lambo drivers here this morning. Giancarlo, though, checking out early. 2.3 seconds is the lead. Nicole has had a problem back behind. Coming out of the horseshoe, just too hard on the throttle early. Cody Kennedy has had a problem as well. Cody into the dirt, goes wide through the grass, and as we heard Giancarlo talk about, you touch the grass here, you're going for a ride. See if we can get a look. Cody Kennedy's car. A little damage to the left front, but he had enough brake in it, was able to save that car. That could have been much, much worse. Graham Bardsley now to the back bumper on Mike Marshall. Tail-happy Porsche seems to be handling the turns really well this morning. Harry Volsmir in second has started gaining ground on Giancarlo. The two Lambos really starting to come alive once some heat is in the tires. Giancarlo had checked out to a 2.5 second lead, now down to 2.25. The other Lambo in the field currently sitting in fourth, trying to pull his way up into a podium finish. Giancarlo continuing to lose ground as it looks like Mike Marshall has had a problem behind. Graham Bardsley down to the inside through the horseshoe. Mike gets on the throttle too hard and goes around. Manages to get it off track before the other drive. Wow. Now he's just showing off. Great recovery by Mike Marshall, but that puts Graham now up into third, actually right at 4 seconds behind Harry Volsmir. Giancarlo pulling away just a little bit again here. Now 2.6 seconds ahead. Cody Kennedy is on pit road for repairs. Apparently had some issues with the handling of his BMW after that hit to the wall. Giancarlo's lead about 2.6 seconds ahead of Harry. Oh, Harry's around! Harry Volsmere is around! Graham Bardsley slips by. Graham now to second place. Cody Kennedy also having a problem behind. Cody had just come out of pit road, same area he was in the first time. Goes wide into the grass. This time manages to hold it. Let's take another look at the incident for Harry Volsmere. Just gets on the throttle a little too hard, loses the back end. Graham Bardsley manages to slip by. Graham now to second place, but 7 seconds behind Giancarlo, who continues to just check out. Nicole Creasel goes wide, lets the leader by. Giancarlo's still a bit of a blink on. Graham Bardsley in second now, closing in. He's going to easily get by Nicole. Harry Volsmere in third, trying to close back up and reclaim second. Giancarlo's lead now 7 seconds. That being said, Graham was the fastest in practice. Now that he has some clean track, will he be able to reel in the leader in the next 9 minutes? Could be a very interesting battle between those two in race number 2. Harry Volsmere back in third, now 3 seconds behind Graham despite the quick recovery. He lost a lot of time on track. Mike Marshall in fourth as you see Nicole Creasel off track behind. Cody Kennedy in fifth. Nicole in sixth, has that car back out on track. Giancarlo has had a great start to this season so far. Swept at Imola, won the first race at Red Bull, and finished second in the second race, continuing to dominate, and with most of the top 5 not here. Giancarlo, the only driver in the top 5 here today. Only 2 drivers in the top 10 here today, Giancarlo and Nicole Creasel. Even with the drop races, both of these drivers are going to have a huge points morning. Graham in second place, just set his fastest lap so far this morning, running the same pace as the leader at the moment, holding that gap at about 7 seconds behind Giancarlo. Harry Volsmere in third after that issue on throttle, right in front of Graham, back to third place, still trying to make his way back towards second. Mike Marshall in fourth has cranked it up after the wildest recovery to an incident so far this morning. Marshall in fourth is gaining ground on Harry, however 14, almost 15 seconds behind. Let's take another look at Mike Marshall's awesome recovery in the Conlift Solutions Porsche. Graham shoots it to the inside. He tries to fight back, gets too much throttle here. Sends it around. The other car's further back. He has time. Lays down some rubber and fires that car forward again. Harry Volsmere trying to gain some ground, now back to 5.9 seconds behind second place Graham Bardsley. Giancarlo laying down some blistering laps. Now is an almost 8-second lead. Last time by, almost a full second faster than Graham Bardsley. As mentioned, Graham was the fastest in practice, but it looks like Giancarlo has found some more speed in the Audi. Only two drivers in the field that have not had a massive off-track this morning. Giancarlo and Graham Bardsley, the top two at the moment. This may come down, especially in that second race, to who makes the fewest mistakes. And remember, with just 6 drivers in the field, the finishing order from race 1 will be a full field invert into race 2. And again, just a huge shout out to Conlift Solutions, the improved views, the improved graphics, everything. A huge shout out to them for helping us out. All the new detail, and we are continuing to improve these graphics, just maxing out settings and making adjustments like crazy. So by the time the 3-wide race occurs tonight, there will be even more improvements. Nicole Creasel has had a problem behind. A little too deep into the turn and gets into the grass. Goes around, manages to get it stopped before something worse happens. Mike Marshall has had a problem back behind. Oh, off into the dirt. How many drivers have we seen hit that section and a hard hit into the outside wall? The entire front bumper comes off. That section of track has bit so many drivers this morning. Meanwhile, Giancarlo putting Cody Kennedy now a lap down in 6th. Mike Marshall in 5th rather. Mike Marshall in 4th. Harry Volsmere in 3rd. Graham Bardsley in 2nd, up 4 spots, biggest mover of the race. And Giancarlo still in the lead, but here's an interesting note. We saw that 8-second gap a few laps ago. It's now down to 7 1/4. a little late in the race. Graham won't, unless Giancarlo makes a mistake, Graham will not be able to win. But this is going to make race number 2 very, very interesting with that Lambo coming on so strong in the long run. Mike Marshall on pit road for repairs. Heavy damage to the front of that Porsche. And it looks like he's even got suspension damage. Giancarlo picking up the white flag. One more lap to go. He'll get looking at his 4th win of the season so far. This will have him starting back in 6th place with Graham Bardsley in 5th. Row 3 of this second race is going to get interesting. Fuel strategy is going to be a big factor this morning. We've seen Giancarlo shake up the fuel strategy a few times this season. Historically, he stretched to the absolute limit and then made the shortest pit stop. We've seen him pit early once to get fuel topped off and then run to the end. It has benefited him. So it'll be interesting to see what fuel strategy he goes with this morning. What an impressive, I want to call him a rookie. He's definitely a rookie to this league, but Graham Bardsley, not a rookie road racer by any stretch, starting from the tail of the field intentionally, coming home in 2nd. And here we go, Giancarlo through the final turn. His 4th win of the season here at Donnington. Even gives us a little flash of the lights. Graham Bardsley in his first race with GT3 NSS comes home in 2nd, and Harry Volsmere fights back, comes home in 3rd. Mike Marshall, despite multiple issues, is going to come home 4th. Cody Kennedy in 5th. And let's see if we can talk to 2 of our top 3. Graham Bardsley does not have a mic. We will not be able to interview him this morning. Hey, Harry, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Hey, that was a great, other than the incident that you lost 2nd place, you were extremely fast this morning, and it looks like that Lambo is really hooked up on the long run.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I didn't drive much this week, so I tried the safe setup, and it works quite well. That is, if I don't take too much risk.
I heard Giancarlo mention, he mentioned to me in pre-race that the Lambo seems to get a push coming out of the turns, but it didn't seem to be bothering you too much this morning.
No, it doesn't bother me too much.
Well, another great race, and after missing Red Bull, you were back at 14th, but with it being Easter Sunday and so many drivers missing, you're going to pick up a lot of spots in the championship this week.
Yeah, well, that's not the most important. Having fun is more important.
Well, a great job this morning, Harry. Congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you get another top 3 in this second race.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Graham Bardsley, who finished 2nd, unavailable to interview. So talking to our winner, Giancarlo, that looked like a pretty dominant win, but I have to say the last couple of laps, that's got to worry you for race 2.
Yeah, I started to feel some tire wear. I saw Graham had some great pace too, and I know now we're starting basically side by side, so that's looking to be an entertaining second one.
It definitely is. I know a lot of drivers we talk about in pre-race going off track here is just fatal. We saw it happen so many times during that first race, but you and Graham, the only two that really didn't have any major off-track issues. Is that going to be the key to getting a win in the second race?
Yeah, probably. I mean, all it takes is one mistake, getting on the gas a split second too early or braking a little bit too late, and you dip a tire, and then you're spinning. So it's gonna be a careful race for sure. Starting from the back, we gotta both be on our toes as the race goes on.
It looks interesting. Another interesting thing I noted that before Harry had his spin, he was starting to gain on you. It looks like the Lambo you mentioned in pre-race, it had the push to it. It looks like on the long run that kind of goes away, and they really pick up some speed.
Yeah, I mean he was sticking right behind me up until he had an issue, but really in the last I think 2 corners of the track he was gaining like 0.3 on me to maybe a half a second sometimes. So I don't know what magic he was pulling with that Lambo, but I'd love to learn from him on how to replicate that.
Well, man, another great win, your 4th win of the season, and looking forward to seeing if you could pull off a 5th one and a second sweep this morning.
Thanks, Doug.
Giancarlo gets the win again as the drivers prepare for race number 2. Stick around, keep an eye on the cars. We'll be back live. We'll leave you watching them. We'll be back in just a moment. A couple of cars sitting on pit road. Nobody has taken to the track yet for some practice laps here. Apologies for the moment of silence. I forgot to I always tell you guys, run to the snack bar, get your food and drink. I forgot to go get a Dr. Pepper at the snack bar before the first race. So had to run to the snack bar, get a Dr. Pepper. And you know what? As we get ready for race number 2, you guys might want to run to the snack bar. While you're standing in line, make sure you hit like and share and follow and subscribe. Hit all the buttons. You know, everybody loves pushing buttons. Don't forget race 2, 40 minutes, a full field invert. That's going to put Giancarlo starting in 6th. Nicole, that's what she said. Creasel will start with the lead. They will have to make a fuel stop, and fuel strategy could be a big factor here this morning. Warm-up comes to a close. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It is time for the second race. Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel, and Cody Kennedy on the front row. Mike Marshall and Harry Volsmuir have the second row. Graham Bardsley and Giancarlo on the third row. It did appear in race 1 that the Lambos have the advantage on the long run. Could that come into play in a much longer race here? Looks like looks like Nicole Kriesel is going to start from pit road. So Cody Kennedy is leading them out. That'll move the inside lineup spot. That's going to definitely benefit Graham Bardsley and Mike Marshall here. Mike Marshall will now start on the front row. That Porsche was looking fast this morning. Can he make it work? Through the final turn, waiting for that Porsche pace car to drop off. Here they come. Green is in the air. They are down and away for race 2. Cody Kennedy taking huge advantage of that starting position. Pulls up into a gap here. Mike Marshall not slouching though, fighting back on the inside, but Harry Volsmeer managing to slip up into second. Giancarlo Graham Bardsley side by side. A little blink from Giancarlo. Graham pulls up into fourth. Nicole Kriesel is out on track after starting from pit road. Oh no, Cody's around. Cody Kennedy is around and loses the lead. Harry now to the lead with Mike Marshall in second and Graham in third. Giancarlo still holding on back in fourth. Harry Volsmeer in the Lambo trying to pull away from Mike Marshall in the Porsche. Mike Marshall trying to stay within the tire tracks of the leader here. Harry gets a much better run off the turn and pulls a gap. Into turn number 1, Harry still has the lead. Cody Kennedy has recovered, now in 5th place, but as Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel breathing down his neck. Harry Volsmeer, a big morning potentially for him, coming on third in race 1. Will help him move up in the points and will definitely help make up for missing last week at Red Bull Ring. Mike Marshall, also a big points day for him. He missed Imola, but still with a couple of great finishes, 11th in points. And the points battle here in week 4 is still very, very close. Every point is going to count. Giancarlo and Graham now pulling up to the back bumper of Mike Marshall. Giancarlo just set the fastest lap of the race so far. Back in 4th place. That's going to make things interesting. Graham looks to the inside, almost makes a move on Mike Marshall. Giancarlo able to close right back up to their back bumper. Now Graham defending and trying to pass the Porsche Mike Marshall. Giancarlo's starting to blink again as they go through the chicane here. Not the place you want to have a car disappearing on you for sure. And here we go. Graham looks to the inside. It is so close. They never touched, but holy cow, you couldn't have gotten any closer. Marshall managing to... Oh! Graham backs off of it. Giancarlo now goes to third. Let's take a look at the incident. Graham almost gets to the back bumper, and Mike Marshall gets hard on the brakes to not hit him, and that sends his car around. Quickly gets the car running again, but now losing a ton of ground, over 5 seconds behind. Oh! Mike Marshall's off track. He spins and almost clips Giancarlo. Mike Marshall hard into the wall. That was a very close call for Giancarlo. There you see Marshall just barely misses the back end. Watch Giancarlo's car as Mike Marshall spins right in front of him. That was close. Just barely missing the back end, and a hard hit for Marshall. Harry Volsmere, while everything is going on back behind him, has pulled out to a 3.5 second lead. Graham now back up into third, but 5 seconds behind Giancarlo. Mike Marshall in fourth place. Nicole Creasel now up to fifth place as Cody Kennedy has had problems. See what happened to Cody back here. As the leaders, holy cow. That was a close one as well. Nicole Creasel has a problem in the chicane. Here she comes down into the chicane too soon on the throttle. The back end goes around and she struggles getting it recovered. Oh man, Zach, I am sorry to hear that, buddy. Harry continues to lead, but Giancarlo chopping away at the gap. Now down to 2.5 seconds. Graham back behind, now 5 seconds behind and gaining. This one could be decided on pit road. As Harry has caught the back end of Cody Kennedy, he's going to cut to the inside. Harry goes by. But Giancarlo continuing to make up ground, now 2 seconds behind. Graham still in third, Mike Marshall in fourth, Cody Kennedy in fifth. Zach, if I get some time this afternoon, I'll holler at you and see if I can help, buddy. Giancarlo clearing the lap traffic, lost about 1/4 of a second in second place. Graham Barsley in third. About 5.25 seconds back from Giancarlo and 7.5 seconds back from the leader. Harry Volsmir had opened up almost a 4-second lead on Giancarlo when everything was happening back behind him. However, that gap has now dropped to about 2.5 seconds, but Harry is able to, seems like, hold Giancarlo between 2 and 2.5 seconds, not letting him gain a whole lot of ground here. Meanwhile, Graham Barnsley has suddenly started gaining ground on Giancarlo again. That gap holding at about 5 seconds. And Harry continuing to hold that gap. If Harry could get the win in race number 2, this would be a huge points day for him. As mentioned, after missing Red Bull last week, he was back 14th in points. He's going to make up a ton of ground here this morning. And as you heard Giancarlo say, that Lambo seems to have the second half of the track, seems to be able to pull away just a little bit from the Audi. And that is definitely proving true. 2.8 seconds is the gap. Graham Barnsley back in third, continuing to make up ground after the spin. Mike Marshall in fourth, Cody Kennedy in fifth, Nicole Kriesel in sixth. Nicole was running in fifth place, had gotten past Cody up until the chicane. She could make a comeback here this morning. As we mentioned there during race 1, this track definitely favors the Ferrari. Giancarlo has cut the gap back down to 2 seconds on Harry. And for the first time, it looks like he's going to make it under 2 seconds. We'll see what it is at the start-finish line. This is the section that Harry has been able to pull away these final 2 turns. Mike Marshall is on pit road. The first one to make a pit stop. Looked like he did have some damage to repair, going ahead and getting the fuel as well. Marshall on his way off pit road. Giancarlo cutting away at that lead big time this time, 1.5 seconds. Graham Barnsley still holding about 5.25 seconds back, has fluctuated between 5 and 5.5 seconds. Behind Giancarlo, but every lap consistently faster than the leader. Harry, meanwhile, now has Giancarlo closing in under a second. Harry's lead starting to shrink quickly. Once Giancarlo is able to get into the slipstream, it's going to become a battle between these two. That is exactly what third place Graham Bardsley needs to see. These two battling it out for the lead could give him the opportunity he needs to make up the ground that was lost earlier. A little wide for Harry that time by. And Giancarlo is there. He is at Harry's bumper. Oh, Harry pushing it. Graham Bardsley closing in now on the top two. Mike Marshall has completed his stop. Cody Kennedy made a stop on lap 3. Will he have enough fuel from there to make it to the end? Remember, as we saw in race 1, the later the race gets, the better that Lambo gets as compared to the other cars on track. But Giancarlo has run Harry down from over 3 seconds behind. And as they continue to battle, Graham is closing in. Graham Bardsley is making his pit stop. Gave up third. Harry pulled a little bit of a gap on Giancarlo that time. Mike Marshall in fourth. He is coming around. Will he be able to get to the start-finish line as Graham Bardsley is coming off pit road? Won't be quick enough. Graham holds on to third. The top two still need to make a fuel stop, and there's a question mark on Cody Kennedy. Nicole Creasel also needs to make a stop. Graham now looking to take advantage of the clean air as these two continue to battle it out. Giancarlo is on pit road. Harry Volschmier stays out. Giancarlo hits his pit stall. Fuel only here. Giancarlo now on his way off pit road. He has completed his stop, pulls back out, holds on to second place. Now Harry Volschmier, the only driver in the top three that still needs to stop. Cody Kennedy is in for fuel. So only Nicole Creasel needs to make a pit stop for fuel here. Graham Bardsley now 9 seconds behind Giancarlo at a 4 second longer pit stop than Giancarlo. Harry Volsmir is in. Just needs to get on and off pit road in under 33 seconds, and he will retain the lead. Harry on pit road. Here comes Giancarlo through the final turn. Harry in his pit stall. Giancarlo out of the final turn. Here comes Harry off pit road, but he has a speed limit. Giancarlo gets by. Giancarlo to the lead. Harry comes out in second. Here comes Graham in third. Nicole Kriesel is on pit road for her stop. Giancarlo played the strategy perfectly. Comes off pit road with a 4.6 second lead over Harry. Oh, Graham is around. Little too deep into the corner, gets a little too much of the grass. Car goes around. Graham gets rolling, holds on to third place. Now the battle's going to come down to Harry Volsmir and Giancarlo. Giancarlo has been dominant all morning long. His lead almost 5 seconds, now just over 5 seconds. But Harry not done yet. He is trying to fight back, and as we saw in the first race, the longer they run, the better that Lambo gets. Mike Marshall currently sits back in fourth, and he is actually gaining on third place Graham Bardsley. Could we see him get up there? He's about 13 seconds back from Graham and gaining with 18 minutes left. Anything is still possible here. As we heard between race 1 and 2, this may come down to who makes the fewest mistakes this morning. Giancarlo, so far, none. Harry Volsmir, so far, no mistakes. And Graham Bardsley has crashed. Oh, it looks like Graham is pulled over. Mike Marshall now up into third. Graham has slipped back into fourth. No idea what happened there, why Graham needed to pull over. Definitely of a massive benefit to Mike Marshall, though, now into third place. Harry Volsmir currently in second, still trying to run Giancarlo down. Giancarlo maintaining about a 5.3 second lead. Last time by, Giancarlo and Harry's lap times identical. Mike Marshall in third, Graham in fourth, Cody Kennedy in fifth, Nicole Creasel in 6th. Nicole missing the... Looks like Nicole moving over to let somebody by. Harry Volschmier unable to pick up any ground. Oh! Harry snaps loose. He holds it. What a save by Harry. Holy cow. He lost a lot of momentum, a lot of time, but that could have been so much worse. Giancarlo's lead now 6.6 seconds, 6.7. Mike Marshall sitting in 3rd, Graham now in 4th, Cody Kennedy having some problems in 5th, but still holding the position. Nicole Creasel back in 6th. And Giancarlo just starting to... Oh, Giancarlo goes wide. The first mistake we have seen Giancarlo make all morning long. He goes off track. Manages to hold on to the car and maintain the lead, but Harry managing to pick up over a second. Mike Marshall in 3rd, still gaining ground on Harry, but 38 seconds back after pit stops with 13 minutes left to go. Unless Harry makes a mistake, Mike Marshall can't make it up. Graham Bardsley in 4th, 10 seconds behind Mike Marshall, and he is gaining on him. Harry currently running in 2nd, Mike Marshall in 3rd. And Harry is starting to make up some of the ground he lost. Despite having saved that awesome, making that awesome save, he lost almost 2 seconds. With that mistake, he has gained one of them back. Now the question is, can he gain the rest of it and close the gap on Giancarlo? Giancarlo did say it's going to be race by race. We may not see him as he's in the Audi this morning, not in his usual Lambo. We could see him trying the Audi more or in different cars this season. Harry Volschmier pushing that Lambo for all it is worth here. Harry having a great morning so far. 1 podium finish already. Could he make it 2 in a row? And can Giancarlo hold on to it to get a sweep, his 2nd sweep of the season? Swept both races at Imola, now looking to sweep both races at Donnington. Mike Marshall back in third, has lost some more ground to Harry. Continuing to fight back though, and what a morning it has been for him. Mike stands to move into the top 10 in points after this morning, especially with a podium finish here. With 10 minutes left to go, and after seeing Giancarlo's first mistake of the day and seeing he's having some connection difficulties, this race still very much in the air. Harry now 7 seconds back from the leader. Mike Marshall in third, Graham Bardsley in fourth. Cody Kennedy running in fifth, Nicole Creasel in sixth. Nicole going wide, letting the leader by. Harry definitely having a great morning this morning, coming on third in race one, looking at second in race two as he comes by the lap traffic. Mike Marshall had a rough race in race one, but has fought back into a podium spot. Graham Bardsley was in third, but pulled over a couple laps ago. Not sure what happened, but allowed Mike Marshall to get back into a podium spot. However, Graham is running him down. The gap was 10 seconds, now under 7 seconds. With 8 minutes left to go, could he reclaim that podium position? Meanwhile, Giancarlo out front continues to extend his lead. 7.6 seconds. Mike Marshall definitely coming on stronger this season than we've seen in the past. Despite missing a race, he's had a 6th and 7th place finish in race number 1. And a top 5 in the second race at the season opener of Sebring. And a top 10 in race 2 at Red Bull last week. What a wild race that one was. Make sure you're following us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and Facebook. YouTube has all the past races for this and all of our leagues. Graham has chipped that gap down to 5 seconds with 5 minutes left to go. Can he reclaim his podium spot? And Cody Kennedy is on pit road. He had an incident a moment ago. Off into the grass, we've seen everybody, almost everybody, going wide through that section, but Cody managing to hold on to it this time. Giancarlo's lead now 8.6 seconds with 5 minutes left to go. Mike Marshall in third, Graham Bardsley cutting away another half second. Cody Kennedy is back out on track in 5th place. Nicole, that's what she said. Oh, Nicole is off track and that car is torn up. Giancarlo got the sweep at Imola, the second race of the season. Looking to sweep again here today. He got the win in race number 2 last week at Red Bull Ring. Came home second in the second race and looking to have a very dominant season here again. Harry Volsmere is on pit road. Harry Volsmere had a problem back behind. Oh, too much throttle off the turn and a hard hit for that Lambo to the infield wall. Giancarlo still has the lead, but now Mike Marshall is up to second place. Graham Bardsley in third, though, closing in. He's back in a podium spot and just over 3 seconds behind. Graham has been consistently 5/10 to 8/10 of a second faster than Mike Marshall. Does he have enough time left to come finish in second? Giancarlo, meanwhile, continuing to dominate this morning. He has got this locked up as... Oh! Mike Marshall got too much of the grass, goes wide. Graham is going to take second. Mike gets it back out on track, though. Does not hit anything. Giancarlo's lead now 56 seconds. And it has come down to not making any mistakes this morning. That and the fact Giancarlo just set the fastest lap of the morning. Mike Marshall now 3 seconds back in third. Still in a podium spot, but can he run down Graham Bardsley and reclaim second place? Oh, Giancarlo's off track! After setting the fastest lap of the race, Giancarlo goes off track. Unfortunately, Graham unable to make up much ground right then. Giancarlo up 5 spots, Graham Bardsley up 3. Mike Marshall having one heck of a morning. And here we go through the final turn, and Giancarlo will sweep the morning here at Donnington. Graham Bardsley comes out of the final turn. He'll come home in second place. No, I'm sorry. Graham is way far behind, as is Mike Marshall. After incident, the only driver... Actually, Giancarlo on the last lap did have an incident. But it came down to the driver that made the fewest mistakes this morning. Happy Easter, Russell, and happy Easter to everybody out there. Graham Bardsley, his first week in the league, comes home in second. In both races, Mike Marshall will come home in third. And let's see if we can get a word with our first and third place drivers. Graham Bardsley has lost his mic. Hopefully we'll have that figured out next week. Third place, Mike Marshall.
Oh, okay.
Mike is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Hey, man. Good. That was an awesome morning for you.
Yeah, I got lucky. I did the undercut with fuel, hoping I was going to make it. And I think I got 0.8 gallons left.
That is cutting it close, but it definitely paid off coming home in third this morning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, this track is so difficult with the off-camber turns. It's really easy to get off and get in the grass, and it takes you so long to claw your way back in.
I know you had a couple of incidents in both races, but to come back and finish how you did was also impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
A podium finish, you'll hop up to the top 10 in points and probably gain a lot of ground despite drop races, so a great morning overall for you.
Oh, awesome. Good to hear, man. Thank you very much.
And congratulations, buddy.
All right, thanks.
As mentioned, Graham Bardsley, no mic this morning. His brake pedal broke and he had to convert his clutch to the brake. That's why we saw Graham pulling over. And let's talk to our winner. Hey, Giancarlo, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Another sweep this morning here. Man, that was awesome, and it came down to who made the fewest mistakes.
Yeah, it really was a battle of attrition. Had a close call with Mike in front of me at one point. I think everybody, including myself, had issues with the grass this race. Took me until I think the last lap to get on the grass, but I sure as hell did it.
I have to ask, man, did you see how close Mike got to you?
I am looking at it right now. Definitely a brown pants moment for sure.
It definitely was. But you pull off the sweep, your second sweep of the season, and looking forward to Detroit next week. That track it's a bit tricky and a bit tight.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever raced Detroit, so I know there's just walls everywhere. So it will be it will be an interesting one. I'm hoping to finish the race with my steering intact.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about off tracks there.
Yeah, that's true. A 1X is essentially just a did not finish at a track like that.
Well, man, congratulations. You extend your points lead. Another great race.
Thanks, Doug. Have a good one.
Giancarlo sweeps the morning once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to come back tonight at 8 Eastern. The new 3-wide Gen 4 series is here. Hope you guys had just as much fun as we did tonight. Today. We will see you tonight. Happy Easter, everybody. Have a great day.